Final update. I went to my 5-year-old nephew's birthday party, but there was no food for me. My sister-in-law said, only family is invited. My husband said, let's go home, so we left. What happened after that surprised her. Part 2. Kindly, honestly, this should be my wife's responsibility, but thank you for helping out. Kay looked so happy. I had so much fun with Lisa today, chimed in a smiling Jack. Jack smiled back at his son. That's good to hear, he said. As I moved toward the door, Julia suddenly appeared. Her sharp eyes landed on me. What are you doing here again? She demanded, her voice cold. I asked Lisa to come today, Mary interjected. She even went to Kyle's daycare observation and made this hamburger. But Julia's anger didn't subside. She picked up the plate with the hamburger I'd made, and before anyone could react, she threw it into the trash. The room went silent. Even Kyle looked shocked. Jack quickly opened the trash can and retrieved the plate. What are you doing, Julia? Lisa worked hard to make this, he said, his voice trembling with anger. Julia snapped back at him, don't talk to me like that. I earn just as much as you, if not more. Show some respect. Jack fell silent, his shoulders slumping. Julia's domineering attitude clearly weighed heavily on him. Feeling overwhelmed, I quickly apologized. I'm sorry for overstepping. I'll leave now. Julia glared at me. Stay out of my kitchen next time, or you'll regret it. Fighting back tears, I hurried out of the house. On the way home, I couldn't stop crying. All I had wanted was to help, but my efforts only seemed to anger Julia further. Why did things always go wrong when I tried to do the right thing? When I got home, the lights were already on. Tom had returned from work and was preparing dinner. Seeing my tear-streaked face, he rushed over. Lisa, what happened? He asked, concerned. I told him everything. His face turned red with anger. Julia again? I'm calling her right now, he said, grabbing his phone. No, please don't, I said quickly. I don't want things to get worse. Tom sighed and put the phone down. He pulled me into a hug. I'm always on your side, Lisa. No matter what. In that moment, I felt so grateful to have Tom in my life. For a while, I avoided Julia's house, afraid of another confrontation. But then one day, my phone rang, and to my surprise, Julia's name appeared on the screen. Hesitantly, I answered. Next week is Kyle's birthday. We're having a party, so make sure Tom comes, Julia said curtly. Before I could respond, she added, and don't forget the birthday present, then hung up. I stood there in disbelief. After everything, Julia was now inviting us to Kyle's birthday party. When I told Tom, his expression darkened. There's something going on, he said. Maybe, but it's for Kyle, I replied. We should go. Kyle excitedly showed Julia the gift. Look, Mom, he exclaimed, holding it up with bright eyes. But Julia scoffed. What a cheap-looking toy, she said coldly. Her words cut through the moment like a knife. I froze in shock, unable to respond. You two don't even have kids, so you must have plenty of money. You could have gotten Kyle something better, Julia continued, her voice dripping with disdain. Tom opened his mouth as if to argue, but even he seemed too stunned to speak. This is what I wanted, Kyle shouted, his small hands clutching the gift. Don't be mean to Lisa. His innocent words struck a nerve, and Julia's face twisted with anger. If you love Lisa so much, why don't you become her kid? She snapped, her voice sharp and venomous. Kyle's lips trembled, and tears spilled down his cheeks. Jack silently stepped in, scooping Kyle into his arms and whispering words of comfort. I watched in disbelief, my heart breaking for the little boy. As the tension hung in the air, the doorbell rang. Lisa, the sushi delivery is here. Could you get it? Julia asked nonchalantly. Sure, I replied, needing an excuse to step away from the tension. At the door, the delivery man handed over the order. 5 sets, 1 kid's sushi set and 4 adult sets, he announced. Puzzled, I asked Julia, weren't there supposed to be 6 sets? There are only 4 adult ones. That's correct, she said curtly, paying the man. Her dismissive tone didn't sit right, but I decided not to press the issue. Returning to the dining table, I noticed something even stranger. There wasn't a chair for me. Tom stood ready to offer his seat, but Julia intervened. Lisa, that's Tom's seat. Yours is over there, she said, pointing to a small side table in the corner. Our dining table is small, so not everyone can sit here. Sorry, she added with a mock apologetic tone. Though hurt, I decided not to make a scene and quietly took the seat she indicated. When the food was served, Mary brought over my portion, but something was missing. Lisa doesn't have any sushi, Mary pointed out, her brows furrowing. We didn't order for anyone who isn't family, Julia said with a cruel laugh. Her words were a dagger to my heart, confirming what I had long suspected. She didn't see me as family. Tom's anger boiled over. That's enough, Julia. Lisa, we're leaving, he said, grabbing my hand. I didn't look back as we walked out, tears streaming down my face. Back home, Tom pulled me into his arms. I'm sorry for what she said, he murmured. His unwavering support was my only solace that night. Mary called with shocking news. Julia got food poisoning from the sushi and had to go to the hospital, she said. I was stunned. Are Jack and Kyle okay? I asked. Yes, they ate the sushi too, but only Julia got sick, Mary replied. Tom, overhearing the conversation, muttered under his breath, Karma. 3 days later, Julia appeared at our doorstep with Jack and Mary. She stormed in without invitation. How dare you live here in this tiny house? She sneered, her words as cutting as ever. What brings you here? I asked, still shocked. Julia's expression darkened. You poisoned the sushi, didn't you? I'll sue you for damages, she said. Her baseless accusations drained the strength from my body. I didn't do anything. I just accepted the delivery, I said, trying to keep calm. That's enough. Mary's voice thundered. She defended me and even exposed Julia's secret affair with photographic proof. Jack's face turned pale as he stared at the evidence. After a heated argument, Jack left with Kyle, declaring he was filing for divorce. Mary announced her intention to sell the family home and sever ties with Julia completely. 6 months later, Julia and Jack's divorce was finalized. Kyle stayed with his father, and Julia moved into a small apartment. Her attempts to reconcile with Mary were met with silence. She had burned too many bridges. Meanwhile, Tom and I began a new chapter. One evening, as we celebrated our move into a new home, I shared the news with Mary. By winter, there will be 2 grandchildren. Mary's face lit up with joy. Lisa, are you? Yes, I confirmed with a smile. I'm 3 months pregnant. As Mary cried tears of happiness, I felt hope and peace for the future. For the first time in a long while, everything felt right.